as we're going to be heading into our first game to see which of these teams are going to be able to survive and walk away on top. Eventide already going to be seeing a lot of action as team number 5 taking on team number 7 for control of top side of Temple and all of the loot therein. Yodo F coming through. We're actually going to see that Transformer team that we were thinking maybe we're going to see these players start to skirt away from, taking a lot of damage. That bell already having been used. Cat's not going to be able to stay alive any longer. Lemon U coming in with the Wuchen Blades, just making sure that the shield refresh and replenish is there as the Scale Rushes start to come on through, coming in with the charge left click on that staff, just looking to try and find this last player. Kun on player number 5. Going to be able to Scale Rush, but gets stopped right in the middle of that Yodo Blade before he's able to fully find a disengagement. And that is going to be the Transformers team taken down before those ultimates can come back online and replenish their health. As moving over to Celestial, we're seeing very aggressive drops coming through from all of these players so they can pick up that momentum early on. Another Attack on Titan team going to be finding a lot of value. Yizhao throwing out the charged R on that fan as quickly as it does because it hasn't been adjusted. Going to go straight into that Tumult ultimate. Has to be careful if that water wheel is still in play that no one is able to disengage and pop it, because all of these players are fighting right in the canyon, and there it is! The boxes are broken! The water wheel is out, but no one is in the pop. No! Someone does go down!
No. That was Yizhao grabbing the kill right there onto team number 10. But Water Wheel coming into play now here. Team 10 just trying to lock down multiple of these other players. Guizhou actually going to get caught out after the Water Wheel going down. APF coming here on team 12. Looking to make something happen. We will see the Viper V2 coming in, looking to get a short stun out onto Team Sin there. They are going to pick up yet another elimination as Team 12 moves to 3 eliminations here right off the rip in Celestia. But the fights aren't going to stop here yet as Team 6 looking to come in for the third party. Casper coming in with that great sword, going to get a bit of damage off onto APF, but APF going to go airborne using that F here on the Wuchen to find some value. Will get caught out here by the charge left click, and APF feeling the pressure is going to use that ultimate here on Wu Chen to get out and get Miss You back into the game as Team 12 looks to back away there at the top temple in Eventide. And Team 6 is going to have no chance to hunt them down as Team 10 coming back in after finding the full reset, looking for the third party. And this time, they're going to be the team on the receiving end of the Viper ultimate. It looks like it is going to be the V1. A long stun duration here. We're going to see Casper trying to be saved out here by Kishi. That ult not going to quite do it, though. Kishi now going to be the player caught out who will go down to Team 10. And Team 12, after finding the reset, turning back in from Eventide Temple, topside coming in, looking to catch onto these players. Oh my goodness, Team 6 will lose one of their players as Team 10 and Team 12 now going head to head. Miss You is going to go down as another short duration stun comes out here from Team 12, but it's not going to be enough to buy them away from Team 10 who come in looking to take them down. Team 10 will find another elimination. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. Team 12 will be able to break away from this fight, Moxie.
Oh my goodness, so many early fights right off of the rip. We've suspected that it was going to be an incredibly aggressive lobby, especially in match number 1, especially when it's a nighttime map, because those ultimates are going to be coming online a lot more often with the increased fireflies. But it really does feel like a lot of these players are taking advantage of having the Attack on Titan and going for the kills early on as possible to be able to come in before things like the Takeda has that ultimate to look for the wombo combo with some of these mechanicals. As Kishi trying to track down one of these players on team number 10. Celestia making it a little bit harder to be able to properly find the full jump, as it is going to be the ankle break. Kishi trying to intercept, and immediately after, they just roll right past him. This is always an occurrence in Celestia with the amount of buildings and ease that you can find with those scale rushes. As Kishi now is looking to pincer in with one of his other teammates. If they can try and intercept them on the second story of that floor, they might be able to find a lockdown, especially if Kishi is looking to try and come in with the bouncer. Pole sword equipped for the scale rush. Proper amount of damage to chunk through if they're able to find that connection, but still, with this dagger, This one player on Team 10 is absolutely uncatchable, and they've actually spent so long trying to lock them down that another team has now rolled on up to the party. Kishi not able to find any opportunity to look for the scale rush, has to actually take a little bit of heal. Now he's going to try and come through with the charged R on that pulse of Tumultuous ultimate going to be laid down to be able to negate the Viper ultimate that came through, as Kishi is going to be taking a lot of damage. The armor fully broken into the charged vertical on the longsword. He goes using the momentum of that pulse and also the zip ultimate to be healed a little bit more up to full. They'll be able to find one kill onto Missy. They've also been able to find Elking. Now it's just that one player on Team 10 that they were looking to lock down, who's run outside of Celestra and breaking out into the open, losing the ability to be able to break the ankles. Meanwhile, if you actually look at the mini-map, one of the players from Team 12 has been able to use this opportunity rune to double back and find a revive on their teammates within the building.
Oh, speaking of the devil, though, Casper coming back in to check the body here is in a 1v2 situation, but the rest of Team 6 turning back around. Team 12 able to find the resurrection, but in a precarious situation as the rest of Team 6 turns back here into Celestra to give chase. APF miss you, and the Linquin just in a bad situation, given that Team 6 here on the full reset. APF able to catch the longsword slash onto Casper, finds the second one, but will get parried in the back by Kishi. Casper gonna back away looking for a reset, will use that ultimate to support the team as Kishi unfortunately goes down before the ultimate finds any value. Casper coming in, that ult will pop to save him there as Team 12 starts to turn this entire fight on its head here. They've lost Miss You as well, but now we're gonna see the ultimate coming in here. Casper trying to break away, line of sight here, is able to get away, and then the Wu channel finally comes online for Team 12, so they're gonna get away with their player and look for the reset. Koala, they're going to use the bell to get the information onto Team 12, but knows that Team 6 cannot push back onto this. Kishi finds their resurrection here, going to use that early game resurrection to stay in the game, and Team 12 and Team 6 will both live to fight another day. Turning over to Team 7 here as they finish cleaning up another team. They're going to go to 4 eliminations just outside of Shadow Jade Mines.
We're seeing so many Attack on Titan teams. I wonder if we're actually going to see an Attack on Titan composition try and take these Realm of Yang fights, because we saw one Transformer team, 2 Takeda Sand Siphons. Everyone else has been running this Attack on Titan incredibly early on, as it's seeing things like the Viper, the F2 for that silence over the F3. So if they do run into that zip, it's going to be a little bit harder to be able to try and disable a lot of that healing sustainability that she is capable of. However, having that silence does mean if you can attach it to something like the Takeda, you don't have to worry about the shoves peeling a lot of the aggression when you do have a player locked down because of things like the Yodo. As we're potentially going to see Team 7 go head-to-head with the team just left of them, Team 8, but it looks like Team 7 not really wanting to take any fight, because we do see those Realm of Yangs starting to spawn on up, and these players want to hold on to their ultimates to be able to carry them through into Realm of Yang. Team number 5 going to be putting themselves in up against team number 8, Tryhard's team, running that Sand Siphon composition. All of their ults going to be up and available as everyone goes aerial with the grapples, not wanting to get locked down and forced into using these ultimates early. Transformer going to be throwing in that TN high transformation. It's immediately going to be blocked out, however, by the Tumultuous ultimate. Windspout coming through from the fan, just trying to transfer as much damage as possible. Karumi coming under fire, having to actually use the healing circle incredibly early on, but Cat's able to find a scoop onto 1 onto 2 and finds the double grab. Tryhard goes down immediately before the zip can heal them, and as a result, the Transformers team have been able to deny the damage burst carry from the Sand Siphon team. On the side, we see the zip just throwing in the Windspouts on the fan, trying to pressure this Karumi, but she has the peel coming through from her Yushan to be able to look for these daggers, throwing out the charge clicks on that fan that charge up so incredibly quickly, and no one's able to flash the red parry because then they're going to be too static and staggered out by the Yushan. What a double grab to open up the fight from Cat.
Very, very unfortunate fight here from the side of Tryhard's team. Team 8 there simply didn't have the ultimates available to really risk coming into the Realm of Yang here. They get double grabbed out. They don't have the zip ult to buy them the safety to come away from it, so they end up losing Tryhard immediately. They don't have the Temi ult available for them either, so they can't use it to block some of those grabs from the Monk and force them to reposition. They do target lock onto the Kurumi, and it is the proper target acquisition for that composition. Unfortunately, because they don't have the ultimates, they can't really shove Kurumi away from her own ultimate, even though they force her to pop it early. And because of that, they walk into a situation where the monk just has free grabs available, and they end up getting themselves sent back out here with Yang depletion. Moxie, it's a bad situation to be in. I'm not quite sure why the team opted to take the fight without most of their ultimates available.
They did have the tumultual because they used it the second that Tianhai burned the ult.
Did they have the Temi ult? I didn't see the Temi ult
It
pop
came out
inside.
incredibly quickly. Like, literally, it was sort of domino effect. The monk ulted, and then the tumult ulted immediately afterwards.
So, I mean, in that situation, they had no business just standing next to the monk and letting him pick them up then. But still, a terrible situation, especially given that they didn't have the Zipple, right? Because typically what you see happens is the Zipple is what's going to buy you away from a bad double grab situation like that. Because it's not like Transformers going head-to-head with Transformers where you can utilize your ultimates to keep them from having two targets to grab onto. So you potentially walk into that situation no matter what you do, depending on how good the Tianhai player is on the other team. But that Zipple has that ability to just keep you alive no matter if the slam would kill you or not. Unfortunate for them, they didn't have it available and they just lose tryhard immediately. And that was the piece of the puzzle they really needed to come out on top of that fight, because you can utilize that Takeda ultimate to shove the Transformers away and keep your team alive. Just a very unfortunate turn of events coming in there for team at number 8 as we turn back here and take a look. The zone going to be pushing all the way south side here. Casper's team, Team 6, on the bot side here, already positioned extremely well for the zone down in Shadow Jade. Many of these other teams starting to push towards Celestra, and this is pretty typical of what we see. As long as Celestra is in the zone, we're going to have a lot of these teams looking to fight there, trying to utilize all of that terrain to their advantage so that they can break away from bad situations when things escalate. They're going to see
What's
Team 3 here.
What's going to be interesting, though, is the fact that Celestra saw action incredibly early on, so all of the loot has probably been picked clean, which means resource management is going to be absolutely key, as well as controlling places like Artisan's Grove, as the attacking Titan team are coming in, trying to verse up against the Sand Siphon. F2 gonna actually connect onto New News big, so the Takeda having to actually back on off as the team sees another team roll off onto the distance and decides to use that Wuchen teleport because they haven't been able to find an immediate kill and they don't want to get stuck right in the middle and get third-partied, as now Team 3 are having to use that Takeda ultimate. 3 shoves left available for Big. He's going to get hit by that Viper ultimate. Charging up that spear, looking to try and use a little bit of that hyper-focus armor coming through, but takes so much damage from all of these players around him. One of those shoves being used to be able to break his way out and find that disengagement as 2 teams come in trying to lock down these kills. Team 4 have been able to get one of the players on Team 10. Yanli does go down, and we know that the Wuchen does not have that teleport, considering it was used in the fight previous. So now these players are going to start to try and hunt down some of those bodies, or potentially just sit on the shop and see whether or not anyone tries to backtrack on to that body. Second drum of Yang also going to be spawning on up, and ruin those Yang depletions. If players haven't been able to find soul blooms, they're going to be in a little bit of a tough spot, because one thing I've noticed, even though there was an incredibly aggressive early start and a lot of those players did get burned out of those rebirth charms early on, no one left soul blooms on the body. No one has an insurance card. So everyone is having to play hyper aggressive in what would normally be the lull phase, where everyone wants to just posture up and play for control of the second realm of Yang.
Yeah, absolutely, Moxie. It's very, very interesting because, like you said, Celestra especially was a huge just breakout fight early on, and it forces you not to leave those souls behind, especially because it's inside Celestra. This is always going to be a highly populated area, so any blooms you leave behind in that area are going to be gone. You can't count on them as an insurance policy, so it's better just to pick them up, especially during how crazy those fights were early on into the game. just to get that extra rage so you can continue to keep those fights going. And here we are, the second Realm of Yangs coming forward here. It looks like Team 5 yet again trying to opt to head into the Realm of Yang, and it's going to be Team 4 who manages to get in, this time versus Team 8 yet again. Looks like they were able to get out and find some soul blooms for themselves and are looking to take another opportunity inside the Realm of Yang. This time, importantly, all 3 ultimates available for the team, but it is going to be the mirror match. Sand Siphon into Sand Siphon. Sin here versus team number 8. Ski going to get caught out there on that pole sword, taking quite a bit of their shield there. We're going to see the wisps being invested, and Hermine here doing a really good job keeping that target selection onto the Z-Ping. He knows he wants to get them eliminated as soon as possible. Going to go ahead and invest the ultimate here. Unfortunately, gets turned back around on the other ultimate. Numza here trading Takeda for Takeda here, but Numza taking so much damage. There he is. He's very quickly eliminated. Team 8 here finding a lot of control inside this fight as it's now a 4v2. Ski, though, gets pushed to the side, going to be forced to go ahead and proc the ultimate charge there just to stay alive. Unfortunately for them, they were not able to keep that target acquisition up on Ski long enough, and now with the ult burning, the full reset comes through, and Team 8 just completely blitzes through the remaining players of Sin here. Team 8 finds their redemption inside the Realm of Yang.
Cavalry Bloom is such a brutal jade when you're going up against a player who's being stagger locked, and that is unfortunately the reality of the other Sand Siphon team. When they lose that Takeda, Tryhard is able to get so much more aggressive with Cavalry Bloom, because even though if you're expecting it, it's incredibly easy to be able to parry, he still has a shove left, so he throws it out, does get parried, but uses the shove to be able to recover the dual blades, and then continues to just chunk through players' health bars and armors with Cavalry Bloom coming in and clotheslining whoever is locked down in that light stagger by the rest of his players. It looks like New or Crazy Cow were the other team that were able to walk away with a Realm of Yang successful, and now with Mystic Might enabled, a lot of these teams are going to be starting to branch out in terms of distance and look to jump in on the third party, because not only do you have that knowledge of your surroundings, but you also get the damage reduction that comes alongside it. And when we looked at where Tryhard's team were positioned over towards Shadow Jade Mines, it did look like a majority of the teams were still clustered around that specific area. So I am not going to be surprised if we see that kill feed continuing to light on up, and ask and ye shall receive. There it is. Team 8 looking to potentially find a flank onto team number 6. Tryhard with that Mystic Might doesn't actually seem to be positioning over there. Instead, it feels like they're actually going towards the outer edges of this zone and trying to use that Mystic Might to gather information on where some of these players are that are losing some of their teammates and are incredibly behind in terms of that loot scaling. And it looks like Team 10 is in one such position. They're playing towards the very outer edge of the zone, hoping not to be caught out and spotted so they can play for survivability and take any kills that they found early on in the game to late game for that kill multiplier. Even if they don't have the kill potential, if you're still able to get into the top 5, that kill multiplier is going to mean that you're still able to pick up a hefty amount of points. They do have to be careful, however, as Team 8 are wise to those strategies. Heading over to Graveyard, it's another strategy that we see Transformer with Cat in that ultimate, looking to try and find these grabs. Everyone's swapping over to the range projectiles, and that's Venom Tip that you can see going off on that Monk's health bar, and Cat goes down, melted from existence immediately. The Kurumi F3 kicking in and immediately actually snapping to allow that 90% damage reduction for the Transformer team to be able to survive the second that their Monk player has gone down. They lose that large body to be able to absorb all of the range projectiles, but the fight's gone on so long, Rune. Here comes another one of our teams with that Mystic Might that have rolled up looking for kills.
Yeah, unfortunately here for Sin Solo, going to be completely caught out by team number 3 as they easily take the free spoils of war here. Team 3, though, now a little on the back foot as they have to approach to get into zone, and Team 7 is waiting in the wings to try to play gatekeeper here. Ardawallen here going to immediately pop the Yoda ultimate, trying to do exactly that. Into the Temiel on the side, though, as the fight continues to break out in the zone. Team 3, Niu Fly here extremely low. Big trying to come in and lock lock them up. The Wu Chen ult going to come in and buy a lot of value for Team 7 here as Team 3 continues to try to push to the zone and have to run back into Team 7 yet again and force through a second time. This time, Team 7 going to be investing their Temmie ultimate to get the lockdown, and there we go. We are going to see Fly finally go down here for this team, and unfortunately, that is the healer here for Team number 3, Team Niu, and they're going to have to leave Fly behind as yet another team comes in for that third party and puts everybody in a terrible position. Back over to Team 8, Dodo and Tryhard's team here on the receiving end of Team number 1. A lot of damage coming through, but Ski going to use that ultimate to buy them a lot of space. They have been able to pick up one elimination onto Sin Yogurt, and it turns into a 3v2 thanks to the healing coming in from Ski. Adudu going to go airborne here. Adodo with a huge wisp onto them, and unfortunately that's their healer, and like dominoes, once one falls, the rest of them tumble, and Team 8 comes out on top.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the extreme cosmetic for the longsword that Adodo's got.
That is indeed the new longsword.
I was like, hold on a minute, that Phoenix Plus is looking a little bit extra sparkly, a little bit extra pink, and a little bit extra deadly when it's in the hands of a Sand Siphon composition. As we've talked about, there are some Soul Jades that work perfectly to be able to play off of the spacing that a Tumult and a Takeda provide for a team, and 100% Phoenix Blast is one of those Jades. Normally, a little bit easier to be able to parry, but obviously if you get staggered out either by a Tumult Twist and you're caught in that CC or a Takeda shove, you're not really in a position to be able to find the parry, as we can see what happens when you do throw a blue onto a player who's not CC'd. They will be able to find that parry and find the revive onto their Karumi. Out of the zone, they're going to dip and put themselves into a position of potentially being able to heal up and come through with that potential damage burst as the zone collapses, and you can use things like the Monk Health Replenish in the ultimate activation to be able to out-sustain everybody else around you. As this, which was an incredibly aggressive lobby, no surprises, is now only seeing 13 players left alive. My concern for this transformation team is the fact that Kun actually had to use his ultimate. That is unfortunate.
The big thing here for this particular team is they have not scaled very well. Still on blues and whites, and they do not have a lot of eliminations. Crucially, this is a team that's looking to pop off in these big end lobbies where there are a lot of teams to pick a lot of kills off. Unfortunately for them, there are not a lot of players left alive, so there's not a lot of kills in this lobby for them to pick off in these sort of end of circle scenarios, and that's going to be extremely bad for them.
Right? Like, we've seen Sand Siphon, Attack on Titan. I think they're the only Transformer team
Transformers, yep.
available, so they're not even going to be able to try and steal the kills. Like, you may be lacking in loot, but if you can go for that transformation and play off of the damage done by another Monk in ultimate to look for the reverb grabs when those players are already low, a lot of the time you can sidestep that scaling issue, but because there's no other Monk left, they don't even have that avenue of option. It's going to come down to them having to pick up a Morris Blessing, but Rune, that's going to be easier said than done.
Yeah, no, it's going to be extremely difficult given the number of Sand Siphons in this lobby as well. And we've seen multiple times where they've popped that ultimate and they just absolutely get obliterated by something like a repeating crossbow and have to just use that time to try to regroup and buy one of their teammates back into the game. And because of that, they're extremely far behind and they don't really have a way to push onto one of these Morris Blessings and take it for themselves. And here we go. We're going to see them starting to push up here on the side of team number 8, and team number 8 in a great position to start to pressure onto team number 5 here. So Kun and his team trying to back away here from the range shots. They want to pressure in onto that Morris Blessing that's potentially getting ready to spawn in, but team number 8 not going to let them hold that aggressive position, will force them away from the Morris Blessing getting ready to come through. And if they try to pressure onto team 8 here, they crucially have that Temmie ult where they can just drop it on the box, and then team 5 would have to burn one of their crucial Transformers ult to even attempt to contest it.
Oh, they're contesting though. They're attempting. Merciless Havoc is coming through to try and buy themselves the zoning. And
we do see
Team
that.
8 not gonna let it go through. Currently, the Kurumi umbrella actually being used to block the ranged projectiles coming through, but Tryhard getting into position. Like you said, with that tumult, the Sand Siphon composition is at such a huge advantage. They just have to be careful though, because team number 6 are also in the area. They've been drawn in by the conflict currently going down between team 8 and team 5, and they're here to look for the third party. So if that Sand Siphon team actually uses that Tumultuous ultimate, maybe they're going to be able to pick up the Morris Blessing, yes, but then they don't have the Tumultuous ultimate to block any potential third party from coming through, and it actually looks like, seeing that additional pressure arriving, team number 5 decide to give it on up. Oh no, they're about to run into a team that are directly above them, hanging from the beam. No one checked it. Kuhn coming into the Merciless, going to try and collapse in onto one player from team 11. As it looks like team 11 actually decided to give up the space for team 5 to be able to hold on to their life a little bit longer, not wanting to give up their ultimates in case they get pressured when they're looking for that disengagement and reposition.
So I do believe that the Team 11 is actually down to only a single player here. So Mushroom just trying to get away here and keep the game alive for their team, because they have no other choice. They need to make the number of kills that they have count for as much as possible. And you're going to see here Mushroom is going to redirect this team back in the direction of Team 5 to try to get the attention away from themselves. They are just trying to hold on for dear life at the given moment. Niu here, able to get Fly back into the game, and crucially with so many eliminations under their belt, Moxie, as we are heading into the late game, this team just needs to play for survivability at this point. They don't have to force anything. They have enough eliminations here where even a second or third place finish could easily buy them the MVP here for the game above many of these other teams, and that's exactly what they're doing here. They're just playing very passively, backing away, especially given that Fly here forced to burn that ultimate for the team so that they're able to get a little bit of healing here. They do not have that ultimate back off of cooldown for a little while, but the zone getting very, very small. We have 60 seconds until we collapse onto the final zone, zone 6 here, and team 8 just topside here, butchering down on team number 6 here with these range shots coming in from the pistol and cannon, just blowing away the members of team 6, cutting through that legendary armor that Kishi was able to get their hands on, and Niu gonna capitalize on that as they pressure in a Dodo up top here with the Wisp, gets a Wisp out. Kishi going to go down as Team 6 loses 2 of their members, and they are now down to a single member, and Niu continuing to keep the pressure up, and Casper will go down. That will be it for Team 6, unless a Dodo is still... No, a Dodo looks like they are still alive out there as Niu continues to keep the pressure up. Team 5 trying to capitalize now that Niu has been completely shredded through here by the members of team number 8. They're able to come in. They pick Fly up yet again. The target acquisition extremely well. A Dodo trying to get away now from that Razor Swift coming on through, looking to capitalize on the Phoenix Blast. Doesn't find it. He manages to find a Clank instead, but team number 8 gotta play carefully here. Team 5 trying to come topside and take advantage of all of this. B gonna come in and use that Temi ultimate to get away, looks for the reset, but Ski able to get to the other side of it, keeps the pressure up. Cat coming in with those nunchucks, trying to go for the meter dump, doesn't find it quite onto a Dodo. Ski gonna get sent flying here with 1 tick of HP left, as Niu, still 2 members left alive, giving chase to Ski there. A Dodo gonna get sent over the edge as well, and we're gonna see Cat finally go for the grabs here. Will find a grab onto Ski, looking for the team to capitalize on it. The grab goes down into the immediate follow-up with the staff, but Ski able to get away here, uses the crouch to do the superhero landing, drops way faster. Cat not able to get inside of the hitbox here, still trying to chase that elimination onto Ski. So far, no value for Cat out of this. Looks like they were able to finally get a hold of a Dodo, as Kuhn able to do the final tick of damage as the grab comes through and is confirmed. Cat just trying to get in here with these nunchucks and get a meter dump onto somebody, not able to find it. He's been clanked multiple times. The fight continues on. DRCK, their healer, going extremely low, but the members of these teams completely split up now, as Kuhn's team here, team number 5, able to start finding some value in these final moments onto these other teams. DRCK will get picked off and cut away by Tryhard. So multiple of these teams down to 2 players. Kuhn still with that transformation here, starting to cut through. Tryhard will get separated, but it's Neonews B with the repeating crossbow who's able to pick up the elimination. Kuhn now getting put in the box as soon as the transformation goes down, trying to invest on the R&B on the fan to pick up an elimination, but he will not find it as Big is able to pick up that elimination. Cat goes extremely low, is able to find the transformation one final time before being eliminated. Big and B safely hidden down below, able to get away from these grabs, and there's still a member. I'm not sure if that's Mushroom topside. It is Mushroom from Team 11. Against all odds, a solo player has been here for the last 3 zones and is more than happy with this turn of events. Cat will get the grab onto Big's, going to walk into the zone to go for the throw. He knows he can't win this lobby for his team, but he can pick up one more elimination, and he does. And now it's B versus Mushroom. Mushroom might be able to take this to the end here, going head to head with B. B gonna get locked up in the staff here. No, sorry, Spear coming through, goes for the overhead. B goes for the parry, but they miss each other. No connection from either side. The Wisp comes in. B gonna use his F to break away and go for a Wisp of his own. Now Mushroom stuck in the zone here. B in a very similar situation. Mushroom just needs to hold on for one more tick, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Mushroom comes out on top.